Ever feel like your career just decided to take a U-turn on you? Like everything's going great, you're killing it, and then bam, setback.
Happens to the best of us. Trust me, it's not about if setbacks come, but when.
So true. And today's deep dive is all about not just surviving those career curveballs, but actually using them to level up.
Level up. I like that. It's not about just getting back to where you were. It's about using those bumps in the road to, like, catapult you forward.
Totally. We're going to unpack 5 practical tips that can help you do just that. So, ready to dive in.
Let's do it.
Okay, so tip number 1 might seem kind of obvious at first, but we're going deeper, I promise. It's all about accepting the setback.
Yeah, that's huge. You can't move forward if you're stuck in denial, you know?
Like, easier said than done, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I was reading this article about a tech entrepreneur, right? She completely bombed this presentation to investors. And I mean, completely. Millions of dollars on the line.
Oh, wow. Talk about pressure.
Right. It would have been so easy to just like crawl into a hole after that. But here's the thing, she didn't. She owned it. Said that that train wreck of a presentation actually forced her to take a hard look at her whole approach, you know? Ended up helping her secure even bigger funding later on.
Wow. See, that's what I'm talking about. Turns a setback into like $1 million lesson.
Exactly.
So how do we do that? How do we go from feeling defeated to actually using that setback as fuel?
It's about shifting from that initial, emotional response, the disappointment, the frustration, all of that, and moving to a place of like objective analysis. Think of it like a post-game review, not a blame game.
Okay, so less what went wrong and more what can we learn from this?
Exactly.
Which kind of brings us to tip number 2, right? Identifying those lessons learned.
Right on. This is where that growth mindset we talked about comes in. It's not, oh, I messed up. It's, okay, what did this experience teach me that can help me grow?
Yeah, yeah. It reminds me of that Thomas Edison quote, I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work.
Love it. It's about reframing those so-called failures as like stepping stones, experiments along the way.
Okay, so we're accepting the setback. We're looking for the lessons. Now, the next part.
Yeah.
This one's tough. It's all about staying positive, maintaining that growth mindset, even when it feels like you're like stuck in quicksand. Any practical tips for this one?
For me, it helps to focus on what you can control. You can't change what happened, but you can control how you respond.
Right, right.
So maybe that's like updating your resume, taking a class to learn something new, or even just reaching out to someone you admire for advice.
Those small steps can make a big difference, huh?
Huge. That feeling of like, okay, I'm doing something can be so empowering.
For sure, for sure. Action over inaction any day.
100%. And speaking of action, sometimes a setback, it can be a bit of a wake-up call, you know what I mean? It
Yeah.
makes you reevaluate things.
Right. It's like, okay, maybe this is a sign that I need to switch gears. Which leads us perfectly to tip number 4.
Yeah.
Reassessing those goals.
Exactly. Like, are you even on the right path? Are your current goals still something you're actually passionate about? A setback can be the perfect time to hit pause and really think about what you want.
It's like that saying, sometimes you got to get lost to find yourself.
Yeah.
Maybe this setback is a chance to discover something even better.
100%.
Which brings us to that final tip, taking action. Time to put everything into practice.
Time to make it happen. You've learned from the past, you've fine-tuned those goals, you're feeling re-energized. Now channel that energy into action.
Okay, so what does that look like practically? Give us the goods.
Well, it could be anything from polishing your LinkedIn profile to networking like crazy. Maybe you finally start that side hustle you've been dreaming about. It doesn't have to be this huge dramatic thing, you know?
Right, right.
It's about those consistent, meaningful steps that get you closer to where you want to be.
I love it. It's all coming together.
It's a journey, you know?
That's the truth. So to wrap things up, we've got 5 powerful tips to help you not just bounce back from career setbacks, but to come back even stronger. Remember, it's not about avoiding setbacks altogether. It's about how you choose to respond to them.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
And think about it. That CEO who totally bombed her presentation, she ended up using that experience to launch this amazing mentorship program for women in tech.
Wow, see? Talk about turning a setback into a springboard.
Exactly. Now that's how you level up.